All right, Larry Krueger here at Levi's Stadium on a Friday for the Pig and a Pickle Crew Show with a little 49er update, everything that happened down here in Santa Clara on a Friday. And of course, we're brought to you by Pig and a Pickle, the best barbecue in all of Northern California. Check them out. They're in Emeryville, they're in Corte Madera. They're open 7 days a week from 11 a.m. till 8 p.m. or until they run out. Go say hi to Damon and Mary, get some brisket chili. Tell them that Larry Krueger sent you. We're also brought to you by Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles. They're at 205 Cypress Avenue in Pacific Grove, California, on the Monterey Peninsula. Call my friend Anthony Catania. He's at 831-521-5264. All right, the Niners are getting ready to take on the Bears Sunday at Levi's. It's a gotta-have-it game. This is it. We're going to find out what the Niners are made of. They're 5-7. They kind of need to run the table if they're going to the playoffs. And it starts Sunday with the Bears. And, the Bears are playing pretty good ball, even though the Bears have lost a bunch of games coming in. If you look at some of the numbers, they're playing pretty good football. The key in this game, one of the keys is going to be the fourth quarter. I mean, the 49ers have scored the sixth fewest fourth quarter points in the NFL. They have a minus 25 fourth quarter point differential. Fourth quarter's key. They got to be alive and fighting in the fourth quarter. I asked Kyle Shanahan about situational football because that's really been a bugaboo for the Niners this year, and he's like, we just got to keep working at it. There's no secret to it. You just have to keep talking about it and getting after it. Today, Trent Williams did not practice. Nick Bosa did not practice. George Odom did not practice. Bosa's doubtful for the game. Williams and Odom are out. It sounds like Aaron Banks is going to be out. J.P. Mason's going to be out. So it looks like Ben Barch and Jalen Moore are going to start on the left side once again. Barch at left guard, Moore at left tackle. Gary Kubiak, the former Niner offensive coordinator and former Niner, quarterback coach, was at practice today. I asked Shanahan, was it business or pleasure? And he said, more pleasure, out here to see his kid. But of course, Kubiak and Bobby T go way, way back, and they embraced on the practice field. And this, of course, Gary Kubiak is the father of Clint Kubiak, who's the Niners passing game coordinator. Gary was also the Niners quarterback coach last time they won the Super Bowl in January of 1995 with Mike Shanahan as the offensive coordinator. Gary was the quarterback coach. As far as practicing today, Demo Lenoir practiced, Dre Greenlaw, Talanoa Fonga, Demetrius Flanagan-Fowles, Yatir Gross-Matos, they all practiced today. That was good to see. On the Bears side of things, Roschon Johnson got a concussion. He did not practice. DJ Moore and DeAndre Swift did not practice. Roschon is going to be out. I think Moore and Swift are listed as questionable, so it's going to be a game-time decision for both of those guys. Chicago's offense is interesting. They're 190.1 yards per game, which is 27th in the NFL. They're 23rd rushing offense, 23rd points per game, but they have been in the red zone. Their touchdown percentage in the red zone 66%. That's really pretty good. The 49ers red zone defense has allowed a touchdown on 11 for the last 11 trips to the red zone in the past 3 games against Buffalo, Green Bay, and Seattle. They have to be better in the red zone to have a chance to win this game. Another key to victory on Sunday for the Niners will be run the football. Run the football against the Bears. Detroit ran it for 194 yards, 5.9 a carry. They had 7 runs of 10-plus yards against the Bears. Minnesota ran for 124 yards and 4 10-plus yard runs. Green Bay ran for 100 yards, 81 yards after contact. So Chicago has missed 25, has missed in the last 3 games. They have missed 25 combined tackles. So run the ball. I mean, if there's one way that you can win this game, it's run the ball. Run the ball on the Bears. When you're giving up, 5 yards a carry, you can be run on. Chicago's also 31st in the NFL at defending opposing wide receivers. Jordan Addison went off against them for 162 yards. T.J. Hawkinson had a 114-yard day against them. Green Bay had 141 yards after the catch. So the Niner receivers, J.J., Ricky Pearsall, these guys need to go off. The Bears also play a ton of zone, a lot of cover 3. They're among the NFL league leaders in cover 3. They use it about 40% of the defensive snaps. Teams, though, play a lot of man against the Niners. It'll be interesting to see what the Bears do in this game. If they play a lot of man, look for Pearsall to maybe have a big day. But if they play a lot of zone, Debo has been great beating the zone, and expect the Niners to use the screen game often against the Bears in this matchup. The Niners need better defensive line play, bottom line, especially at defensive tackle. And the Niners' 5 wins, they're giving up 71.8 rushing yards per game. And their 7 losses, they're giving up 154.3 per game. Buffalo just gouged them for 220 yards on the ground. Chicago has only rushed for 100 yards in only 1 of their last 5 games. So they don't come in running the ball well, and Swift is beat up. And is questionable to play. So, this, and Roschon Johnson's out. So the Niners may have caught the Bears at exactly the right time, but it is going to be absolutely a gotta have it kind of a moment for the 49ers. They got to win this game. There's no way around this one. If the 49ers want to go to the playoffs, it's got to happen today, or has got to happen Sunday, I should say, against the Chicago Bears. Greg Papa stopped by this morning with Murph and Mack and said, this is the biggest stretch of the year for the Niners. They have 2 games in 5 days. They play Sunday against the Bears. They play Thursday at home against the Rams. And, we're going to find out, does this Niner team have a run in them? The one thing that's really clear is that the Bears are probably playing better than the Niners are coming in. One area that the Niners really have to take advantage is Caleb Williams has been sacked 49 times on the year. He sometimes freezes in the pocket. He sometimes stares down the rush. He sometimes, processes slowly at the top of his drop. For the most part, though, he hasn't turned it over. He's only turned it over 9 times all year. One other note, we heard John Lynch stop by this morning as well with Murph and Marcus. And John said, hey, look, man, we got to fight. He's like, you can't get your ass kicked 2 weeks in a row and not respond. So we'll see if the Niners respond. There's no question they need to. They have to respond. So he was asked about the talk of the possibility of trading Kyle Shanahan. And John laughed and just said, hey, man, the talk of that's comical. He's like, we have an excellent head coach. He's going nowhere. Our focus is on the Bears. He was also asked about Azeez Al-Shaair and the big hit that he had on Trevor Lawrence. And he said, hey, Azeez is a great player. He's a great guy. Probably should have pulled up there. He's a physical player who plays physical. And he's like, John said the severity of the suspension all stems from the reaction on the field to the hit and the reaction off the field after the hit. But he said, hey, Azeez is a hell of a guy. And Azeez is a hell of a guy, but he went too far there. 3 games is probably excessive. And John was saying that they ought to review the whole play and decide maybe a better way to officiate that. Dre Greenlaw will not return this weekend and will not play in this game. The run defense is going to be huge. Probably the number one thing to look at is Isaac Guerendo. How many carries does Guerendo get as opposed to Patrick Taylor Jr., as opposed to Izzy Abanaconda? I expect all 3 of them could go. And once again, congratulations to Curtis Robinson. He was the Niners representative for the NFL Man of the Year, the Walter Payton Award. Curtis Robinson's just a hell of a guy, and he's obviously gone through a lot injury-wise this year, but the fact that he's given back to the community at every turn just makes you proud to say he's a 49er. So that does it for the update. Thanks to Pig and a Pickle for being the title sponsor of The Krug Show. Thanks to Sharp Corner Sports Cards and Collectibles for sponsoring this video. Thanks to all of you guys for supporting The Krug Show on YouTube.